I'm Noah Mickens of the Wanderlust Circus, and I'm here interviewing a woman who should need no introduction, Tiare Tashnick,
Hello.
aka Nagasita. And in the interest of full disclosure, she is also my girlfriend. So, in your face, Portland, Oregon. So tell me, you've been here in Portland as sort of a luminary, as a visible figure for years, I guess maybe about 4 years?
About 4 years.
How did you get your start performing in Portland?
Well, I got my start performing with Serpentine, a dark theatrical tribal fusion belly dance troupe, and what I really loved about them was when I joined the troupe was the theatrical delivery of the dance with a ritual intention. So they were sort of my gateway into the whole bohemian arts underground scene in Portland.
And how did you begin to perform on your own?
Well, as soon as Serpentine broke up, I started working as a solo dancer with artists like Chevy Sabah, David Starfire, eventually Vagabond Opera, and I started writing Bogville tales.
So why don't you tell us, Bogville, I know that we've done several short bits of Bogville together and done 3 full-length shows and some other related projects that have been under the banner of Bogville. What to you makes a Bogville show a Bogville show?
Well, it's a dark, magical, theatrical display, a very immersive sort of way that it's all played out, where the stories happen all around the audience and move through the audience, and there are different sub-stages everywhere, so that everywhere the audience looks when they go to a Bogville show, it's like they're actually in the town of Bogville. And the aesthetic is very dark and whimsical. You could say very Tim Burton inspired. So you get to go on kind of an adventure in Bogville when you go to experience it.
And the Bogville shows, I know that one of them, they're perfectly fascinating as shows in and of themselves, but perhaps because I'm just have been involved in so many more traditional theatrical productions, but they're unusual how they're put together. As opposed to just being written by a single person and then put through the process of casting. Can you tell us a little bit more about the process that leads to the creation of a Bogville show?
Well, I always start with a story that I write, scene by scene, and then I assign each scene to a musician. And the musician writes a song for that scene. So it's a bit of an operetta, a light operetta. And then in each scene, I choreograph all of the dancers so that each scene has a sort of flow that the audience can watch and understand through dance.
But the closest thing to a script in a traditional sense is really just these songs, isn't it?
It's just the songs. Everything is told through song and riddle. Yeah.
But all told to match a story that initially is conceived of by you, and then once the songs are done, you also are the one that sort of weaves them all into the show with the dance and movement.
Yeah.
Cool. This is a very unusual approach. It's not really how things are usually done. I think that people who I've spoken to have compared your work to a lot of more sort of high-minded stuff, like Robert Wilson or like old Bertolt Brecht theater and things like this. But my sense is that your experience and your influences don't really come from this kind of, academic work. What would you say are the influences that inspired you to create the Bogville show?
Well, Definitely Jim Henson, Fraggle Rock. I love comic books. I read a lot of comic books as a child. ElfQuest, Clarion the Witch Boy, Madame Xanadu. Let's see, influences. Old World Theater. I love Old World Theater in the way that everything is very hands-on in its creation. The backdrops are hand-painted, the costumes are very intricate and very textured. It's got a very patchwork feel to it. Old World Theater, just in all of the layering that's involved in just one scene alone. The shadows, the dimmer lighting, it's all very haunting. It's always haunted me, and that's why I was drawn towards this sort of theatrical work. Yeah.
Cool. And so what do you think is next for you? I know the next Bogville show that we're working on now soon, right? Like we're going in a half an hour to the next big Bogville rehearsal. What are we going to be doing there?
Well, we're going to go get started on the first scene with Asha Gježić and all of our friends from VVV and Eric Stern and all of these, and Tana the Tattooed Lady, this amazing burlesque dancer and singer that will be involved, and Jay Lieber, our wonderful poet, to start pulling all of the scenes together and make it one big, amazing, radical show.
And when does the show premiere?
June 17th at the Refuge.
And also on the 18th.
We'll have the 18th show as well.
June 17th and 18th at the Refuge. Then what's next for you after Bogville? What other projects have you got in the works?
Well, my dance troupe and I, Apsara, we're headed to Tribal Fest and a big show with David Starfire at the Fillmore in San Francisco. I'll be seen with the Wanderlust Circus Orchestra at the Alberta Rose Theatre on June 1st and 2nd. And,
July 1st and
July
2nd.
1st and 2nd.
Yes.
Whoops. And Salon Lorient on July 3rd. Yes.
Excellent. Well, thanks very much. This has been Tiare Tashnick, a.k.a. Nagasita, the enchantress of tribal steam. And I'm Noah Mickens, wishing all of you well this fine and florid spring afternoon.